How are we doing, ladies and gents? Gorgeous George back for Monday Night Review. I'm going to talk about the West Ham game where we lost 1-0 to West Ham at the London Stadium. And I'm also going to talk about the Champions League draw. We got Barcelona in the round of 16. If you're new around here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications when I post a video. I'm going to do a preview for the Huddersfield game, which is coming out later tonight. So yeah, make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell. I really do appreciate it. Let's get on to the West Ham game where we lost 1-0. And the performance wasn't great. It was the worst performance I've seen from Chelsea this season. There was no determination. No one who took the game by the scruff of the neck. No one who was like, let's go win this game. Let's go and show them who we are. There's no one who was making risks, like making those runs. The only person who was in the box was Morata. Like, if you watch the game back, there's no one who was taking risks with long shots. And I know Conte said we had 19 shots, but we only had 2 on target. That is not good enough. From the amount of time we had the ball, we only got 2 shots on target. Morata should have finished his chance, which he put off target. Hazard had a shot that went over the bar. Sabacosta's bending shot that went just wide. Saved by Adrian from N'Golo Kante. So we did have our chances, but it's not good enough having 19 shots and only 2 on target. It's not good enough if we wanted to try and win that game. Also, there was a stat that I saw that we put in 21 crosses. Do you know how many crosses were successful in that game? 3 out of 21. That is not a good percentage. I think it's only like 14% accuracy. That is not good enough because we only had one person in the box, and it was a disappointing performance. Like, if we lost that game and gave 100%, like the game against Burnley when we lost, we started slowly, but we showed fight, we showed passion to try and get back in the game. I know we lost 3-2, but we showed the fight that I want from Chelsea. The fight that I want from players when we go into these type of games where we go 1-0 down or 2-0 down early on. Like the game against Newcastle, we started slowly. We seem to be starting games so slowly. It's always been the Chelsea way that I've been watching Chelsea since Solar. Like, that's the reason why I support Chelsea. And we've always seemed to start slowly. Like the first 10 to 20 minutes, when we just don't seem to be at the races. And whether that's team selection or squad depth, it's always been our problem. It's just not good enough if we want to try and win these games, especially in the London derby. I've just watched Antonio Conte's press conference before the Huddersfield game, and he was asked again about January transfer windows. And he said we had to take one game at a time. We need to work with the players that we've got at the club, and which is fair enough, but we do need to add in January. We need to keep an eye on that because we need to get players who are not going to be cut-tied like the likes of Sandro from Juventus, Aubameyang from Dortmund. Anyway, this ain't a January transfer window video, so I'm going to get back onto the West Ham game. Like I said, there was no determination, no desire from the team, and it was just a poor performance. Thibaut, let's talk about the first goal. Could Thibaut have saved it? The shot was only going one way from that position. So the quality keeper that Thibaut is, he should have been either getting his fingertips to it. If he still went in, fine, because he got his fingertips to him, but he should have been at least getting a hand to that because he was only going one way with that shot. But when the crosses came in, he collected them well. The only thing is he needs to release the ball a bit quicker to get us on the counter-attack a lot quicker, so West Ham didn't get the players behind the ball, which they did. They put 10 players behind the ball. There was a point in the game, in my vlog I even said it, go check it out if you haven't. They had 10 players, 11 players even, in the box, including the goalkeeper. They had 11 players in the box, and if we hit them on the counter quickly enough, they wouldn't be able to get back and put those number of players behind the ball and make it difficult for us. Also, his kicking wasn't great. With his goal kicks, I don't like the short goal kick. Like, yes, if we can do it, it's fine. Like, but don't do it every time because players are going to know that we're going to play short and put the pressure on early, which West Ham were doing. They weren't giving us any time on the ball, and they were just up for it more than us. And it was like with Timmy Bakayoko in the team, Marcus Alonso, Morata, all 3 of them can win headers easily. Even Sabacosta, they could all win headers. They're all big boys. They can win headers. Get up long, win the knock on, get it down, and then play football in their half. But yeah, I wouldn't give Thibaut more than a 5. I don't think he did much wrong, but he could have saved that shot from Arnautovic. Let's talk about the back line. Gary Cahill, Christensen, and Aspilicueta. I don't think any of them had a great game. Gary Cahill being our captain, he needs to be more focal for me. He needs to be more of a leader at that back. I don't see him being that focal on the pitch. And it's disappointing because Terry would have would have bollocked those players at half time during the game. Get your head in the game. Come on, we got to perform better. And you don't see Gary Cahill doing that. Yeah, I'll probably give him a 4 for player ratings. Let's talk about Christensen. You know how much I rate him. Like, I always talk about him in the highest standard. I'm also going to get his name on the back of my shirt because I rate him and I see him as the future of Chelsea at the back. But he did have a poor game. I think he was at fault for the first goal. He got sucked into the ball where normally he's always behind the ball and being that sweeper of the back. But he got sucked in. It got played into, I think it might have been Lanzini, back to Arnautovic, and he just got himself caught in front of the ball, and he was out of position then. And so yeah, I do think he was at fault for the goal, as well as Azpilicueta, who I think did have a great game. He got roasted quite a bit. His tackling was a bit off, and instead of getting the tackle in for Arnautovic's shot, he tried to block it, and that's not normally what Azpilicueta does. He normally gets a tackle in, and he's normally strong and brave and quite clinical with his tackling. He normally gets it spot on, and he's been fantastic for the season. Don't get me wrong, I'm not slating him, but I do think he had a poor performance against West Ham. Christensen and Azpilicueta probably get a 4 for me as well. Let's go on to the midfield. We had Marcos Alonso and Zappacosta playing as our left wing backs. Zappacosta he was our worst player on the pitch for me personally. I don't think he had a great game. He looked tired. Again, he played against Atletico and he just looked absolutely shattered. There was points where he was going in for 50-50s and he really should have been winning the ball first because how close to the ball he was compared to the players. But he seemed to be getting there first before him. So I think he had a really poor game. He was going in for tackles and then being caught out of position, diving in. And at that level, you cannot dive in. You have to read the game well and judge your tackles to perfection in this level of football. So yeah, I don't think he had a great game. So he'll probably get a 3 from me. And Marcos Alonso, he came off early. He's been playing a lot of games. I know he had a rest against Atletico, but he was one of the better players on the pitch. Not everyone, but Marcos Alonso, it wasn't his best game, but he wasn't the worst on the pitch. So I'll probably give him a 5 as well. So let's get on to the 2 centre midfielders. Bakayoko, we need to stop getting on his back. I know he has been poor of late. And it's not good enough for Chelsea at the moment because we need to be putting pressure on the Manchester clubs. And everyone's talking about Matic. I think he will be better than Matic. We just need to give him time. Like, remember at the start of the season, the reason why we started that chant for Timmy Bakayoko is because how good he looked and how quality he is. And he's lacking confidence. You can see that when he's playing. And we just need to keep off his back. Like, give him time. If I was Antonio Conte, I would say, look, you're hitting a bad bit of form. You're lacking a bit of confidence. Have 3 games out. See how you come back. Just take yourself away from the pressure of playing in the first team. Maybe come on and when we're winning, or just we got to protect him because he's only 22. Like, I feel for Timmy Bakayoko because he's my age, and if I was playing at that level and I had all the Chelsea fans on my back, I would feel really, being in a new country and in a new league, I would really feel like, what am I doing? Like, it would make me play better, but probably because of the pressure I'm on, not play as well. So we need to keep Timmy Bakayoko's back and just give him time. So yeah, maybe a couple of games rest for him just to take the pressure off him, take him out of the limelight, and give other players a responsibility in that midfield. Maybe Ampadu, he looks quality, but he's only 17. Danny Drinkwater, he needs to stay fit for me and stop getting ill. I know it's not his fault getting ill, but injuries, he needs to stop getting injured and just recover well. But we can even play David Luiz in there, so we have got the option to play in Cesc in there, but I don't think he's a deeper role midfielder. So we do have a couple options to give Timmy Bakayoko the rest. But yeah, let's get on. I'll probably give him a 3. So he only played one half and he wasn't great. So probably give him a 3. But let's talk about N'Golo Kante. He wasn't an N'Golo Kante that has been shown over the last season and a half. He looked tired as well, and we can't just rely on him in the midfield when he needs to get a partnership with Timmy Bakayoko like he had with Matic. They worked well together there. Matic was the enforcer, the physical, while N'Golo was the legs of the two. So maybe that's the same way of Timmy Bakayoko and N'Golo Kante's got to go. Timmy Bakayogo's got to be the physical and the muscle, when Godo is the legs and the work rate of the midfield. So, but yeah, I don't think N'Golo Kante was great, and I'll probably give him a 5. He passed it, and his passing wasn't accurate enough for me. His tackling at one point, I remember he was going in for a tackle, diving in, and then the player just skipped past him easily, and he was out of position. He didn't really sprint back, but again, he is playing a lot of games, so I'll probably give him a 5. Let's get on to the front three. Cesc Fabregas, again, not a great performance. His passing was sloppy, as much as I rate his passing, but it wasn't. He was trying to put little balls over the top and dinking them in. Adrian's always going to collect them. The space between the centre-backs and Adrian was not a big gap. Maybe if they were playing a higher line, yeah, perfect. But because of the gap between the defenders and the goalkeeper, it was probably about that, to be fair. And you're never going to get a ball in like that. So he needed to be a bit smarter. Maybe take a couple of shots from long distance. I don't think we had any shots from really outside the box. And Cesc, and that free kick as well. Why play it short? Have a shot. You have a free kick on you. Take it. So yeah, I don't think Cesc had a great game. So I'm probably going to give him a 4. Let's talk about the top 2, Alvaro Morata and Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard, when he turns up, he is fantastic. He's on fire. He's on top form at the moment. But against West Ham, I don't think he had the best game. And we can't just rely on him, though. If Eden Hazard turns up, it doesn't look like Chelsea have a good game. So we cannot rely on him all the time. So players have got to start taking responsibility for me, not just Eden Hazard. So he didn't have a great game. I'll probably give him the highest rating of a 6. I do think he was trying to create and take on players, but having no support around him and the players around him not having a great game, it wasn't Eden Hazard's best game for us this season. Alvaro Morata, he needs to be stronger for me. He needs to hold up the ball better. He needs to be get off. When Winston Reid, when he went down, it was a penalty because he pulled his shirt. You can see it clearly in the replay. It was literally his collar's come down to here, and you can see Winston Reid's pulled his shirt. Is that enough for a penalty? I don't know, because I'm not a professional referee. But if that, for my team, I would be calling that all day long. So yeah, it was a penalty for me. But he does need to be stronger. He needs to be no, get off me. This is my ball. I'm going to get a shot away. But the only thing, he didn't have the support from the players from the midfield, like Marcos Alonso, Sapa Costa, Cesc Fabregas, Eden Hazard, Timmy Bakayoko, trying to get around him to win the flick-ons. And he was the only player getting in the box. And that showed with our crossing rate. We put in 21 crosses. Only 3 were successful because we only had 1 player in the box. And it makes it so easy for the West Ham defenders to defend, because 1 player only has to pick up Morata and the rest can pick up the space. And we made it so easy for him because no one was willing to take the risk. But I would probably give Morata a 4. He wasn't the best today, and his shot, his one-on-one chance where he was left all by himself. All he had to do is put it back across goal, and it was a goal. He should have been he needs to be more clinical for me. But yeah, we move on next to Huddersfield, and I'm just hoping the performance is a lot better than we showed against West Ham. And I think I'm just going to round this up, the review of West Ham 1, Chelsea 0, as no desire, no determination, and West Ham wanted it more than us. But let's go on to Huddersfield on Tuesday. I'm going to put a preview later, so make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you can see that straight away. But yeah, that rounds up my review of the West Ham Chelsea game. Now let's get on to the Champions League draw, which happened today, early on today at 11 a.m. We got Barcelona. It always looked that way with the percentages of who we could draw. PSG went out early and had Real Madrid. So one of those 2 teams are going out. So if we could get through Barcelona, it looks better for us because we won't be able to face Real Madrid or PSG. But we do need to look at this game first. We're playing the first leg at home on the 20th of February. And we're playing the second leg away at the Nou Camp on the 14th, I believe. The 14th of March. I'm hoping to try and be at both. But I'm so happy that the first leg's at home, because if we put in a performance and we stop Barcelona from scoring, we know Messi hasn't scored against us. If we put the performance in and really stop Barcelona from scoring and maybe try nick one towards the end and just put in the performance of your life, please, for this game. And we go to Nou Camp maybe with a 1-0 lead or a 0-0. That would be fantastic, because then we know what we have to do. Even if we go in 2-0 down against Barcelona in the away leg, and we know what we have to do. We know we have to get 3 goals or even 2 goals to take it to extra time. So I'm so glad that we're playing the second leg away from home because we know what we have to do. We know what we have to do to get through to the next round, and it just bodes well for us because we always seem to be playing the second leg at home where the other team have the advantage of knowing what they have to do to get the away goals. So yeah, it just bodes well for us if we can stop Barcelona from scoring at Stamford Bridge. All we need from the new camp is a goal draw. So maybe a 1-1, 2-2, whatever it is, all we need to get is a goal draw. So if we stop Barcelona from scoring, it looks positive for us going into the second leg. I do think we can get past Barcelona, but we do need to add in January. We need to get players on form like Bakayoko, Marcos Alonso, Sapacosta, and they will have a lot longer to adapt to the Premier League and to go through those cold seasons, these cold months now where they get used to the weather, get used to the new surroundings, the new culture, the new language and all that sort of thing. So hopefully players are in a bit of form when we get past Barcelona. That rounds up my Monday night review. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Make sure you hit the like. Leave some comments what you thought about the West Ham game, what you thought about my player ratings, what you would like to see new from Monday night review. And also let me know in the comments down below what you think of drawing Barcelona in the Champions League, whether playing the first leg at home is going to be beneficial to us or whether Barcelona are going to be too strong for us and we need to buy in January. But yeah, let me know your comments down below. Hit the subscribe button one more time. And yeah, I'll see you next time for my Huddersfield preview, which is coming out later tonight. So yeah, make sure you keep an eye out for that. And last but not least, come on you Blues!